I think. So you guys can pretty much sit wherever you like and hop right on.
That is not a post on Tell Us World of Science used many years ago, but it's actually like a full. That was actually built for the exposition of 1986. So we have for the next, the Vancouver 60 basically years or so, but it did end up kind of turning the tide, and we ended up making that to represent that the appreciation for them fighting under our military. Little water taxi that goes from here, a passenger for mental health and addiction, but we certainly try to help out as much as we can. And as far as for you guys are concerned, like if anybody does come up to you as you're walking around on the streets, they're generally non-violent, so the worst you might get is somebody coming up and asking for a few dollars, but realistically that's kind of the worst. Now again, speaking a little bit in the lampposts, you kind of know where you are in certain places of Vancouver because of the lampposts. But see the black lamppost with white globes, and that means that, well, and of course the brick and mortar means we're in Gastown, which is the oldest part of the city. It's also probably the most unique as well as far as architecture is concerned. But basically, back in 1860, there was a gentleman who came over on a boat, as the water is just out that way, came on a boat with his brother and his wife and a big barrel full of whiskey. And when he came over, he was hoping to own a saloon. But when he got here, he was pretty disappointed. All that was around were factories and mills. And so he went up to one of the workers of a lumber mill and said, "Hey, if you guys can help me build a saloon, I will give you as much free whiskey as you can possibly drink in one sitting." Does anybody want to take a guess at how long it took for that saloon to build? It was under 24 hours, as a matter of fact. It probably wasn't overly structurally sound, but it was built. And it was very influential because of a lot of people from the mills and factories would go there after work. And because it was so popular, a lot of businesses grew around it, and on top of that, other saloons and whatnot. And so he ended up becoming quite an influential guy, this John Dayton. But when he drank his own drink, as he was wont to do, he would go on these long-winded stories and just blabber and blabber. And people would start calling him gassy for that. That's what you'd call somebody like that back in the day. And when Vancouver turned into the city in 1886, they renamed this area into the town of Gassy Jack, and then shortly after shortened it to Gastown. Now right next door on our right side, I would recommend getting, you got your cameras out and stuff. This is quite an iconic picture. The steam clock right here in Gastown. Very cool. Every 15 minutes that will go off with like a toot toot and a little bit of a song, but that is quite a neat picture if you ever wanted to come back here and take a good shot of it. Around here you'll also see lots of restaurants along Gastown. So somebody called out the spaghetti factory, that's a cool one. And then lots of souvenir shops and whatnot as well. Probably every souvenir your heart desires you can find in Gastown. Now if you're wondering about why it looks the way that it looks, in 1886, right after the city became Vancouver, most of it burnt down, all but 2 buildings, because it was made out of wood back then, and there was a big fire. And so when they rebuilt it, essentially the workers said, you know, let's build it out of something less flammable, so if there's another fire, it won't burn down again, which was a good idea. Expanded from the east to the west with a couple of companies. One of them was the Canadian Pacific Railway, and we have the most western station in Canada, and that is it right there, the Pacific Center, the waterfront station. And so nowadays it doesn't have as many passenger trains or anything that comes through, but it is our transit hub for downtown. Yeah. Yeah, there are a couple. I think there's only like 2 instead of 4 now. But yeah, no, you're totally right. We have lots of stuff else. I mean, we're only 3 hours from Seattle, so I guess it makes sense. So this on the water side of the bus, that is Canada Place. Canada Place has a big convention center inside, but it is mainly known for our cruise ships. And I don't think there are any in today. But that place can hold up to 5 big cruise ships at one time. 4 really big ones. So, and they'll come in right to like the front door there, and it is like, when you see a cruise ship on the water, like, you know it's big, but you don't really realize how big it is, but when they're at your front door, like. And speaking of the Olympics, does anybody know what that is right next door? Yes, that is the Olympic Cauldron. The permanent one that is here in Vancouver. And I know that we had a temporary one for the opening ceremonies in one of the stadiums, where they like did a thing where the arms would raise up and only 3 of the 4 arms actually were so small. And many years ago, it had many deposits of coal in the ground, which is why it's called Coal Harbor. Makes sense. Lots of mining around here. But nowadays, there are lots of very lovely condos and businesses. There's Cardero's, which is a very tasty restaurant for fish and chips, for sure. But lots of other seafood as well. And that is one of the things that Vancouver is quite good at, is all of our different restaurants. Just in downtown alone, we have about 700. And in the city proper, so again, from here to basically the airport, there are about 2,000 restaurants. And if you're wanting some really good local food to eat, well, anything seafood related, like we're right on the water, fishing is a big industry around here. Seafood is very tasty, and especially downtown, and we're in Stanley Park, our beautiful city park. And it is named after a gentleman named Lord Stanley. You'll see him on the left side, actually, and it's not that guy. Lord Stanley's actually way back throughout the trees, if you guys can notice. He's way back there. And if you can also notice, his arms are up in the air like this. He's probably going like, you guys named the park after me. Why did you put me all the way back here? This is ridiculous. But the statue in front that we saw was Robbie Burns, the poet. But Lord Stanley, way back there. And if you do like ice hockey, and you may recognize Lord Stanley's name because they play for the Stanley Cup. That is correct. And Lord Stanley gave the Stanley Cup to the National Hockey League many years ago. And it is quite an unfortunate circumstance that we have a park named after Lord Stanley, but our hockey team has never won the Stanley Cup in the over 40 years that it's been a team, so it hasn't gotten by us. It's a very unfortunate situation. Now here in Stanley Park, it's over 1,001 acres of space, so it is a very big park, and there's lots to do. Everything from going on a horse-drawn carriage tour on our left around the park. There's also the aquarium just up ahead. There's also a miniature train in the inside. Many
make it very short and sweet. all enjoyed it as much as I did, which I love to hear.
Great time. It was the best time ever. Honestly, I would recommend this tour to everyone. Please do it. It's the best thing. Go whale watching, once in a lifetime opportunity. It's the best thing ever.
The slow casual. The other vehicles on the car deck down here will be behind us. So we're ahead of almost everybody. We're near the back of the ship, okay? That's the front back there. We're near the orange starfish. There's an orange starfish stairway, and there's the orange starfish elevator, which should be operating. So lots of room for the south of, just on the south side of Fantan Alley and Chinatown. It's the old. You can also buy stuff online. Plus there's a plant expert in the information center that can help you identify stuff. Take a picture, go in there, they'll tell you what you're looking at. Because not everything's in the plant book. I usually take a little more time to explain all this, but I also have to talk about restaurants and stuff, so I kind of ran out of time. And also on the ferry, we didn't have much time either.
Butchart Gardens. This is in Victoria, and it just started out. So let's see what's in store for us. Look at that. That's the map. Hopefully we can do it in an hour. Fingers crossed. Come along with us on our journey. There you go, that's a sign that says Bushart Gardens. Yay! Time to see this beautiful place. Start here.
Do not touch anything.
So we are hopefully heading towards the sunken garden. There we go. Off we go to check out the sunken garden. Beautiful place. Look at that. We're leaving that scenic beauty. Look at that. It's a wall. And here we go. Beautiful, isn't it?
Chocolates, fine British china, native arts and crafts, souvenir stores, places to eat, a shopping mall. Put that information and you. Let's take a look. Ready to see it? Let's come to that way. Go away. That was it. Okay, we'll keep going. Here we go. Let's see if we can get through. Red fish. I think I'm going to be up. If the elevator's working, if it's not, you might have to go back and then make your way for it. But there's the red.
or the beach side where you started from. We have what's it's a hatchery, actually a salmon hatchery. So what this is our city actually made a mistake many years ago when they built it.
Showcasing Vancouver, grasslands, and our two resident grizzly bears, Grinder and Kula. Say hi to our resident grizzly bears at the Grassland Refuge for Endangered Wildlife. And we're also in the Grassland, right now approaching our peak chalet. On the main play of the Grand Sky Coffee Bar, Lucas Cafe, Outdoors Apparel, 2-calorie gift shop, Leaders in the Sky, as well as offline guest services if you have any further questions. Just a reminder, you will need to keep your ticket or pass on you for your return trip. Please set yourselves one final time here as we may tap the bumpers as we dock. Till the end.
Yeah.
ride down?
Pretty good.
Push our mark. Then we just stand up at this red line here and walk straight ahead.
He's very good. That's his owner right there. That's Mom.
Không có trong phim này đẹp lắm hả? maybe a few weeks from now, there'll be a lot of snow on the top of North America. Number one is El Capitan. So here we are at just around 9:45, so that definitely gives you speed up right now. Of course, it was a